Hello students, and welcome back to the discussion of questions of chapter 5 of David Copperfield. My first half year at school. This is the chapter's name. So let's start with the first question. David said that Mr. Crickle had to be in charge of an army. Explain describing how Mr. Crickle treated the boys in the school. So, if you remember, when Mr. Crickle dealt with the boys, he dealt with them in a bad way. Can you tell me what did he do? Again, let's remember together. When David met the headmaster of the school, Mr. Crickle, he found out that he was stern and severe. But the only thing that Mr. Crickle enjoyed was caning the boys and hitting the boys. He was like a soldier in a battle. So he sees that Mr. Crickle is like a leader or a soldier hitting the soldiers lower than him, or hitting his students. So he saw that he is not fit to be a headmaster. Do you remember this sentence? He saw that he was unfit to be the headmaster of the school, and he didn't deserve the trust he was given to take care of these boys, because Mr. Crickle was a brute. He only enjoyed hitting the boys, and he knew less than the lowest boy in the school. Okay. Steerforth promised David that he would do his best to help him. Explain. If you remember, when I talked about Steerforth, we talked about that all the students respected and loved Steerforth. They didn't accept David until he met Steerforth. And when David met Steerforth, Steerforth promised David that he would help him, and he protected David, and no one dared to annoy David as long as he was with Steerforth. But except for Mr. Crickle, Steerforth couldn't protect David from Mr. Crickle. Come fresh to your lessons, because I come fresh to punish you with my cane. Comment. Who said this? Of course, the only person that we talked about in this chapter who loved to hit the boys with his cane or his stick was Mr. Crickle. So if you only guess that this sentence was said by Mr. Crickle to the other boys in the classroom. He was threatening them that if they didn't wake up early to their lessons, to prepare and to study well, he would punish them using his cane. And he would punish them either way, if they study or they didn't study, because he loved hitting the boys. Do you know how my mother is and dear old Beggity? Comment. Of course, the only one who would ask about his mother and Beggity was David. David asked about them, and did you remember who he asked? He asked Mr. Beggity and Ham. He asked them if his mother and Beggity were okay. Mr. Beggity, he stated a little. He didn't want to answer, but then he said they are alright. And they talked about Emily, and he gave David food and things like that. We can see that in this sentence David was only cared about his mother, and to know the news about his mother and Beggity. He didn't want any other thing but to know that they are well. We can see that David here is a kind person who want to check on his mother. But Mr. Beggity knew that his mother and Beggity were not happy with Mr. Murdstone and his sister. But he told David that they were alright, because he didn't want to worry David more than that. Okay, thanks for listening. Use what I said is not the model answer. It's just a discussion to give you ideas to write your own answers. Of course, you will write on your own answers, and then I correct them later. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll wait you in the next chapter.